What's going on? Your boy Yo Scruggs back at it again. Let's talk some hip hop. This time is not an album review. A little different. So here in New York, one of the big topics that's going on is stop playing if they want to stop playing drill music on the radio. We're not drill music overall, but stop playing drill music where one drill rapper or one crew of rappers is dissing another crew of rappers because of violence and things that have taken place in New York City, really stemming from, I guess, the birthplace of this drill music slash violence that goes along with it in Chicago. And now drill music has become a thing in New York, and a lot of people are associating it with violence that's going on. I believe the rapper K Flock, who's from New York, the Bronx, I believe, was recently arrested and charged in a murder. It's just one example, but one of the DJs here, I believe he's on Power 105 or maybe Hot 97. No, I think it's 105. DJ Drewski. He was the first person that came out and said he was no longer going to play drill music that were diss records towards other people. This ain't really my era of music. I know about drill rap, but I don't know it like that. I have the general gist of what it is, and I am aware of everything that went on. Well, not everything, but I'm aware of the situation in Chicago, and of course, I was become a thing in New York now. So DJ Drewski was the first person that said he's not going to play any drill music that's a diss record. They had this thing in drill music where they call it smoking on a pack. So if like one of them got beef with somebody else and they die, they'll make a diss record. And Lil Pookie gets killed. They'll say we smoking on a little Pookie pack, meaning they smoking on his dead body of weed or whatever. I sound that feel real old even talking about this. I don't drill. I mean, a op and smoking on a pack. That's just some new stuff to me. But anyway, so DJ Drewski was the first person that came up with this idea, and now our new mayor, Mayor Adams, he's also trying to get it where where drill music is no longer played on the radio. Now I see this from a few different sides. One, I think you could tell how out of touch like the mayor is. I don't know how old Mayor Adams is. I believe he's in his 50s, but he's a former cop in New York. But you kind of tell he out of touch a little bit. One, because he's talking about getting drill music taken off the radio. I think he needs to understand that nobody really listens to the radio no more, especially people who I say 30 and under. Like most of their music they getting from streaming, they getting from YouTube, um, Spotify, whatever, Apple Music. I don't know if they still got like SoundCloud or whatever, but these kids really ain't listen to the radio. And even if something is on the radio, it's gonna be censored. So knowing you could get that music off YouTube or a streaming site is really I don't know who listens to the radio. I grew up in the era where we listened to the radio, and I don't even listen to the radio no more because I don't want to hear the same 8 songs over and over, the same 8 songs that's on top 40 that I don't even care about. So all the music I listen to now is through my Apple Music and through YouTube. So that's one thing. The mayor, I don't know, somebody's put them up on that. Like, yo, people ain't really listening to the radio no more. Like, so stopping drill music on the radio isn't going to stop drill music, to be honest. Then it's the other side where people saying, well, it's still freedom of speech. You can't take away somebody's right to say what they want to say, which I also agree with. But I will say to that, everybody has the right to say what they want to say, but that doesn't mean it won't be consequences to what you say. Just like, I mean, you got the right to do anything you want to do. I mean, I shouldn't say you got the right. You have the right to say anything you want to say, but people also have the right to to fire you or remove you from a platform if they own it, if they decide they don't like what you said. And we all know that's going on. We've been through it with Trump. It just happened with Whoopi Goldberg, Joe Rogan, this whole freedom of speech thing. It's a slippery slope because, yeah, on one side I agree. You don't want, whether it's people spewing racism or stuff about about the vaccine or just COVID in general, whether it's music, whatever. You don't really, I guess technically you don't want something that's being put out there that could cause harm or crime or make people feel uncomfortable. But then it's the other side where it's like, well, I got a right to say this. Maybe my intentions are to make you uncomfortable. Maybe my intentions are not to make you uncomfortable. This is just the way I feel. So it's a slippery slope on whichever side of the whatever side of the line, and we all like that. It's certain stuff that I'll say that I'm like, hey, I got the freedom of speech to say this. You can't. Yeah, I mean, you can't stop me. You shouldn't stop me. But then I see the other side where people say stuff that I don't like, and I'm like, well, hell no, you can't. You shouldn't be able to say that. But I guess you got to give it how you take it. But words are very. Some people, it's the old saying, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." It's a cool saying, but it ain't really true because words can be. I think if you live for long enough, people could say stuff to you that'll hurt you more than getting punched in the stomach. You know what I mean? I've had stuff said to me that definitely hurt me more than a punch. So words do have a lot of power, but where is the slippery slope where if you start saying people can't say certain things, and then it gets to a point where you live in almost a dictatorship, communist environment where it's like, well, we gonna censor people from saying certain things, and who's going to determine, like, why should the government determine what somebody could say, or why should we determine, or why should citizens determine what other people could say, and vice versa? Why should you be able to just say anything and get away with it? Is I don't have the answers. I don't know where this is going. I think the whole drill music. I mean, it's gangster rap been around, violence been around in rap lyrics forever. I just think now with social media, the world is so much smaller, and with rappers also having so much more money now at a younger age than they did before, because it's just more ways to get money in rap now than it was 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. So I think now this record, there's so many studios where people could make music. People could make music. Your phone is a studio. So now it's like you could diss somebody and it gets to them, 5 minutes later. So I think, and just the world is so much smaller. Even with traveling, people travel more at a younger age. It's just more the way of the world. It's more ways to travel now, and so again, it's a slippery slope. I do believe there are some rap lyrics, rock and roll lyrics, heavy metal, angels rap, movies that do show violence, say things of violence that can influence some people to be violent. I fully believe that. But then there's also people that can hear other people that can hear the same thing, see the exact same thing, and it doesn't cause them to do violence. So it's like, how do you find the balance in between? How do you find a balance in between what should be okay to be seen and said versus well, that's just an opinion, and nobody has the right to tell somebody else what they can say or do to a certain extent. So, but as far as Mayor Adams, I mean, and DJ Drewski, I get their point. I don't believe it's nothing. I don't think they're doing anything to be harmful. I think they're doing it because they think it's going to help. But and then on the radio, I don't really know what that does because nobody really listens to the radio. I'm guessing the average radio listener nowadays is like 50 years old and up. And the only radio I listen to is sports talk radio. Like, I couldn't tell you the last time I've actually turned on a radio station that wasn't sports talk radio. But as far as music, nah, I just don't do it. So I don't really know what taking it off the radio is going to do. I'm sure it will hurt the rappers to a certain extent because it's still another avenue to get your name out there and get your music heard. But I don't think the radio is really reaching the demographic that they're trying to address. And I know Fat Joe Mano, some of the drill rappers, had a meeting the other day with Mayor Adams to discuss the situation and try to figure out, I guess, a balance, some common ground where people still can make the music they want to make, and but hopefully lower the violence in it. So we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions. Should they start censoring music? Should they start censoring movies, or do we keep it where it's like, yo, movies and music can say what they want to say, and it's up to the parents and it's up to that individual to know the difference between, all right, this is right and this is wrong. I don't know. I don't have the answers. So leave a comment, leave a message, hit the like button, please subscribe. Let me know what you think. Your boy Yo Scruggs.